Lise, how do you write so many stories in your emails that actually lead to people clicking and eventually buying? That's exactly what I want to talk to you about today in this video because that's the exact question that I got from one of my members earlier this week. So, if you're a female coach or a course creator, this is for you. So, listen up because I am going to share my secret for how I'm crafting stories that actually convert people into buyers, right? From browsers to buyers to people who actually stick around and want all of your stuff. And you'll definitely want to stick around for number three because it is the secret sauce to all of this mix. Are you ready? Let's dive in. So, before we do anything, we first need to make sure that we have an easy yes offer. Now, an easy yes offer is simply something that your audience sees and immediately goes, yes, this is the thing that I need right now to help me. So it does mean that you need to know the problem that you're solving and your audience needs to have that problem. I see this time and again where we're so excited to create. We're so excited to pull something together and to put it out into the world that we often forget to do the most important step. Does my ready to buy customer actually want this? Now, you'll notice that I said the word want and not need. Because here's the thing, our audience often don't know what they need. They think they know what they want. And it's just simply because they often aren't aware of the underlying pieces that make up all the things. So much like I'm breaking down this process for you right now, and I'm not just jumping straight to the awesome secret sauce, I'm giving you a little bit of prep to make sure that you can actually implement the secret, right? So it's the same for your audience. They may not know what they actually need, but you do. That's your job. But you also have to give them what they want. So this is where, when we're mapping out our offers, we need to be really clear about what the tangible result is that we're helping them achieve based on what they want. And then it's our job to bake in what they also need. So if you are struggling to kind of come up with an easy yes offer to make sure that you're meeting all of those elements, then drop TOF in the comments and I will get you my tangible offer framework document, which literally walks you through 8 different questions to ensure that you're creating an easy yes offer. And you can apply this to existing offers as well. It doesn't matter. It just basically makes sure that you've thought through all the different components to ensure that your offer is an easy yes. Because once you're clear on that, then the next step, which is step number 2, is to then make sure that you're very clear on the problem that you're solving, which is part of what we just discussed, right? It's making sure that you are clear on what that problem is, because then when it comes to coming up with stories, the problem is going to be part of that process. So, how do you get clear on the problem that you're solving? I know that's the question that you were going to ask. Basically, it's very much about understanding who your target customer is for that offer. And in the tangible offer framework, we go through what that is. But basically, they're your ready to buy customer. They're not always one and the same as far as your overarching audiences, although they could be. But you need to be clear on who your ready to buy customer is for that specific offer. And then what is the main problem that you're solving? Or maybe it's a couple of micro problems that you're solving, but what is it? And then can you talk about that in a tangible way? So here is a very quick framework to help you come up with kind of that tangible result, tangible problem that you're actually solving. Create the thing they want to create without the thing they don't want to do. So create a simple sales page without having to worry about what to say. That would be a very specific problem that I'm solving, right? How to write a sales page or how to create a sales page without having to think about what you're going to write would be a sales page template. So when you're sitting down to kind of map this out, you need that clarity. So step one is making sure that you know who your ideal customer is, going through that entire process, making sure that you've created an easy yes offer, right? Making sure that your ready to buy customer wants what you're offering, and then making sure that you have the problem in a tangible way, that you can really describe it, that you understand what it actually is. And then that is going to lead us into the secret sauce. Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay, I'm just going to tell you what it is. The secret sauce to telling stories that actually convert is reverse engineering what we've just done. So, taking what you've done in your tangible offer framework document, so namely Island A and Island B, you're then going to craft stories around those. And the little thing that makes these convert, that makes your stories actually do something to your ready to buy customer, is the action step that you add at the end of the story. Now, here's what I mean. Let's say you are trying to help someone create a sales page, but in their mind, they are so scared of even putting a sales page out into the world because that's often the problem, right? People sit down to write a sales page, and then all of a sudden, this thing up here starts going round and round in circles. No, you can't do this. No one's going to buy this thing, whatever. So the story that you could then turn around and tell is a story where you had a fear that was completely unfounded and it stopped you from doing this thing. So I actually have a clear example that I can share with you here so that you can start to understand how this actually works. So I used to live in an apartment building, and our apartment had a garage underneath, and it had roller doors that you had to press with a remote to come in and out of. I'd gone out one day, was coming back, and the roller door was up. Now it's an automatic close, so it'll start to close on its own. And immediately I stopped the car. Instead of just driving straight through, I immediately stopped because in my mind I was like, what if I start driving through and the roller door comes down on the car? How awful would that be? And then my brain just went off on a tangent of, oh my God, what happens if this happens? And we were renting a car, so it wasn't our car. And all of this stuff was just going through my mind. So I waited for the roller door to start coming down, pressed the remote to stop it, then press the remote again for it to go back up, and then I drove straight through. Now, here's the kicker. It has a sensor. So even if I had driven through and the roller door had started to come down, it would stop before it even hit the car. And then it would just start going back up. So that story is a story that I've used many, many times to illustrate unfounded fears, fears that are completely irrational. So here's the other piece to that story. I've never had that happen to me. I've never had a roller door come down on a car. I don't know anyone that that has ever happened to. So it's completely made up in my mind. And so when I was using this story, what I did, or the action step, was to transition from the story into selling. And I use air quotes because really it's not selling when you're sharing a resource that you happen to have that could actually help your ready to buy customer. So the transition is an action step, right? So you've shared a story, and then you are basically going to go and close it out by saying, what stories or what fears are you telling yourself when it comes to whatever it is that you help them with in your actual offer, right? You're relating it back to that. That's that reverse engineering piece. So, what fear is stopping you from doing XYZ? Like, write down all the things that you think are going to happen if you do this. And then how many of those are unfounded and completely made up? And then what you then turn around and say is, if you want support, if you need help with this, then I have this offer this product, this template, this course, this training that you can go and check out here. And then you link to it. It's a very easy sell and it works really, really well for your ready to buy customers. Now, I hope you've picked up that I've said ready to buy customers about 3 or 4 times now. And I'm using that wording very intentionally because we're only ever talking to our ready to buy customers. In fact, that's all that we should be doing. Everybody else that's in our world is in research and consideration mode. And that's absolutely fine. When they're ready, they will buy. We can't do anything about that, right? It's not our job to convince them. When they're ready, they will step into being a ready to buy customer. But your job as the business owner is to talk to your ready to buy customers. So that's how I want you to also approach writing your emails or writing your sales content and incorporating stories that speak to your ready to buy customers. So if you need more help around the email side of things and specifically how to get more people to click. So we just talked about how you can create stories that convert, but how do you actually get them to click, clickety click on all the things inside your emails? This video coming up on your screen right now helps you figure that out. I'll see you in that video.